Alice Donovan shines as a 44-year-old South Carolina woman. And on a normal November day, on a much-deserved day off, Alice Donovan calls home to her daughter Angie to tell her she's out shopping and will likely be home late.
My mother, she loves all of her kids. Around the holidays, November, my mother would start shopping.
Frustrated, Barry returns home to his stepdaughters. It is early morning and the girls are just waking up.
Barry tells me that Mom's not home. She didn't come home last night. At that point, I was worried. It's not like my mother to not come home.
For Barry, Angie, and Jennifer, being forced to wait a full day is unacceptable.
There was no way we were going to wait 24 hours. We were going to do whatever we had to do to find proof that she was really indeed missing. We started calling hospitals, her friends, her job, my Aunt Judy, trying to see if anyone's heard from her, seen her, spoke with her.
When Angie called me at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell me they couldn't find her mother, Angie began to cry. Something bad happened to her.
She hadn't heard from my mother. And then we called my mother's cell phone again. That went straight to voicemail. At this point, we're frantic. We're not frustrated, we're frantic.
While Angie stays home to man the phones just in case Alice calls, Barry and Jennifer hit the streets in search of their own clues.
Barry, he was so beside himself, so distraught, not being able to locate my mother, not knowing where she was. He's entertaining the idea that perhaps maybe his wife has had an affair or thought of having an affair, has run off. I told him, my mother, no secret life there. There's no way. I was trying to convince him of that, and I called my Aunt Judy to confirm that my mother was not having an affair.
If she was going to run to Hawaii to meet a secret lover, she'd have told me. I would have been the one that she would have told, and that just wasn't happening.
Husband Barry and daughter Jennifer update Angie on what has happened to her mother.
I was furious, I was upset, I was mad. I was scared because now we know that she's in horrible danger.
I blocked everything that I was feeling. I didn't want to believe that she was missing. I didn't want to believe that she was harmed. I didn't want to believe that she was in danger.
While talking to the family, investigators go back to the last phone call Angie had with her mom and learn something incredibly significant.
She told me she was shopping. I asked her when she would be home. She said she didn't know. She didn't really sound like anything was wrong. She sounded tired, and she told me she loved me. I said, I love you too. She said goodbye, and I said goodbye. It was 4:30.
That was 2 hours after Alice was taken from the Walmart parking lot.
She was essentially being held captive, forced to call home to make the family think that there was nothing wrong and carry out the plan. Jennifer and I and Barry, we were trying to comfort each other, but it was hard to do when we're all hurting.
Alice's family has been awaiting an update, but this is not the news the police want to deliver.
Nobody wants to have that conversation. You're telling them these two guys that escaped prison took your mom, and I don't have any more answers for you. We're doing everything we can to find her, but the answer you want so desperately to hear is where she is, and I can't give you that. And so that is a heartbreaking moment.
I went on the back porch. I fell on my knees, and I screamed, "Why, God?" And I started crying. I'm freaking out. I'm hysterical. I was so scared.
Even Alice's daughter Angie reaches out to the public through the news.
When I spoke, I was trying to speak to my mother. just saying I missed her and I loved her and I wanted her to come home.
Angie's tearful plea does not go unheard.
The community response was great. We received hundreds and hundreds of leads, and we went out of our way to ensure that we followed up on each one of those leads.
But it isn't just local community that wants to help. The Q Center for Missing Persons, led by Monica Cason, sent its resources to North Carolina to aid in the search for Alice.
I did cling on to some form of hope that they would give her back to us.
When the media reports Chad Folks' high-speed getaway, Alice's family is hit hard by the news.
I actually saw on the news the car chase in Ohio with Chadwick Folks in my mother's car. I was furious. I was angry. I was scared because I didn't know if my mother was in that car while that car chase was going on. I was worried that if she was in the car, what if she got hurt in that chase? It was a very traumatizing thing to watch on TV.
With Chad Folks so close to capture, having to call off the chase was a crushing setback for the investigation.
We searched for, I believe it was 5 days in a lot of really bad weather.
Monica comes out and she tells us that they found her arm. Enough of her arm to get a possible DNA. It was very surreal. Is this mom? Are we going to have the answer we've been seeking for 6 long years? She spent 6 years, her body spent 6 years thrown in woods like a bag of trash. My mother deserved more than that.
The fact that her remains were found and her family was able to have that funeral and that closure and some answers. Not all those answers are nice answers or good answers, but they're answers.